Hi, my name's Laurie Stevens, and I'm the current data curator here at Esri UK. In this box set video, I'm going to be showing you how you can make the most of authoritative data available through the ArcGIS Living Atlas. I'm going to start by introducing the ArcGIS Living Atlas, before then moving on to outline some reasons why I think you should consider using the Living Atlas. We'll then have a look at some of the datasets available in the ArcGIS Living Atlas, before then moving on to a demonstration to show just a couple of ways in which Living Atlas data could be used within the ArcGIS system. We'll then finish by discussing how you can nominate your own authoritative data to the ArcGIS Living Atlas. So what is the ArcGIS Living Atlas? The Living Atlas is a collection of geographic information from around the world that has been curated by Esri. What this means is that a member of Esri staff has checked that the content is authoritative. The Living Atlas contains thousands of data layers that are readily available to support your work. Not only does it contain data from all over the world, but here in the UK we're really lucky to have data contributions from some of the UK's most recognisable organisations. One of the best things about the Living Atlas is that it sits right at the very heart of the ArcGIS system. This makes it incredibly easy to access Living Atlas data across the ArcGIS system, be that in ArcGIS Online, ArcGIS Pro, or even mobile apps such as ArcGIS Field Maps. This, combined with the fact that data has been checked by Esri, means that data is readily available to be used to help support your work. So why should you use the ArcGIS Living Atlas? Well, as I mentioned previously, the data in the Living Atlas has been curated, which means that a member of Esri staff have reviewed each dataset to ensure that the data is authoritative. This means that the data is ready for you to use to help support your work. In addition, the data can be accessed by any named user, and it is free to use across the ArcGIS system. Finally, the Living Atlas is constantly being updated. I mean this in the sense that both existing content is regularly updated where appropriate, and new content is also regularly added to the Living Atlas. This means that datasets that are being added to the Living Atlas are responsive to the real world. And a great example of this is that in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, Esri UK created a layer in the Living Atlas that uses Public Health England data to show coronavirus cases by local authority, with this dataset being updated each day. So having introduced the Living Atlas, I thought it would now be a good idea to show some of the datasets available. There are 6 categories in the ArcGIS Living Atlas, and I've picked out a couple of datasets from each of these categories here. The first category is base maps, and within this category you'll find base maps for Great Britain, including Ordnance Survey open base maps that are hosted by Esri UK. You also have access to global base maps, such as the OpenStreetMap base map on my screen here. Within the imagery category, you can access the World Imagery Service, which is hosted by Esri and is regularly updated. You can also access data from well-known satellites such as Sentinel-2 and Landsat. Both of these satellites also come with a custom web application that allows you to find and explore data on the fly within your internet browser. In the example on my slide here, I've used the Sentinel Explorer web application to explore Sentinel data and render it using the vegetation index. This is all being done on the fly in my internet browser without me having to install any software or data locally on my machine. Understanding the location of boundaries is vital for many organisations, and within the Living Atlas you can find a range of boundary datasets. This includes administrative boundaries, such as OS boundary line, and also environmental boundaries, which includes datasets specific to the UK, such as sites of special scientific interest from Natural England, as well as global datasets such as the World Database of Protected Areas. A lot of GIS analysis aims to understand people, demographics, and behaviour to make well-informed decisions. Within the people category in the ArcGIS Living Atlas, there is a really diverse range of data available to help understand people and populations. For the UK, this includes the 2019 indices of multiple deprivation, ONS population estimate summaries, and UK coronavirus data hosted by Esri UK. Within the infrastructure category, there is a really wide range of datasets. This ranges from data showing the national road network using OS Open Roads to the locations of supermarkets in the Geolytics retail points layer. In the environment category, we are incredibly lucky in the UK to have contributions from a wide range of organisations. This includes event duration monitoring data from the Rivers Trust, as well as glacial landforms from BritIce. There are also some really great global environmental datasets that cover the UK, including the live stream gauges layer shown on my screen here, which allows you to see up-to-date river flow values. So having introduced the Living Atlas and shown some of the datasets available, I now thought I'd give a demonstration to show the Living Atlas in action. And what better place to start for this than the ArcGIS Living Atlas of the World website. Here on the home page, you'll find a What's New section, which includes links to blog articles introducing new datasets and also exploring ways in which Living Atlas data can be used within the ArcGIS system to help solve problems. If we come to the Browse tab, this offers you a really nice way to explore datasets. Here you can see just some of the datasets available in the ArcGIS Living Atlas, and you can start to see some of the metadata available for each item, including an item thumbnail and an item description. At the top of the page, you're able to search for Living Atlas layers, and we also have a number of ways in which we can filter the datasets shown to us. We can filter by category, by content type, and by region, and just like that, I've been able to filter the layers shown to me so that I'm only seeing environment data for the United Kingdom. I can also change how the results are sorted. For example, I can sort them to show the most recently updated datasets at the top. If I click to open a dataset, you'll see that the link automatically takes me to the item details page in ArcGIS Online. And from here, I can open this layer in the ArcGIS Online map viewers or in ArcGIS Pro or ArcMap. So let's start having a look at where we can use ArcGIS Living Atlas data. This here is the new map viewer within ArcGIS Online, and it's really easy within this interface to add layers from the Living Atlas. We simply come to the Add button, select Browse Layers, and from this drop-down, select Living Atlas. You can then search for your layer, and then simply click Add to add it to the map. And here, I've added UK modern earthquakes published to the Living Atlas by the British Geological Survey. One of the great things about using Living Atlas layers is that you're able to interact with them in the same way as if you yourself had uploaded the data. This includes being able to select features to view their attribute information in pop-ups, and also to adjust the styling. So here we can change the styling type, and we can go into the styling options to change the point size and also the color ramp used. Once we've configured our Living Atlas layer within our web map, we can save this, and we can then share this with users as we see fit. Having used Living Atlas layers within a web map, the great thing about this is that these layers can then be used within web applications in the ArcGIS system. This here is a dashboard that I've created with ArcGIS dashboards that uses the same modern earthquakes dataset from the British Geological Survey to show recent earthquake events in the United Kingdom. Here we have a map that shows the location of these earthquakes, and then you'll see how I've been able to configure various elements using the dataset's information, including indicators, a list, and a graph showing earthquake magnitudes. This shows how information in Living Atlas layers can be used within applications to offer insight. And hopefully this demonstrates just one of the potential ways in which Living Atlas data can help to support your work. Let's now have a look at another example, this time in ArcGIS Pro. One of the things highlighted by the COVID-19 pandemic is how there is uneven access to green space. And so to investigate this, I'd like to quantify how access to green space varies using Living Atlas data. To add Living Atlas data to your ArcGIS Pro project, you should select the Add Data button, and then under Portal, select Living Atlas. You can then use the search box to search for layers. The first layer I'm going to use is OS Open Green Space, which uses Ordnance Survey data to show the locations of green spaces. The second layer I'm going to add from the Living Atlas is ONS Population Estimate Summaries. This is a dataset that has been curated by Esri UK from ONS data. And as you can see from the contents pane here, this data exists for a range of geographies, all the way from the country scale down to lower super output areas. For this analysis, I'm interested in seeing how the sum of green space area varies by middle super output area. And so to do this, I need to use the Summarize Within tool in ArcGIS Pro. When I open the tool up, I need to select my inputs. When I select the drop-down to select my input polygons, you'll see that I'm able to select the datasets that I am pulling in from the ArcGIS Living Atlas. And so this shows how useful it can be being able to use Living Atlas layers directly within analysis tools. I select my middle super output area layer and my green space sites, give my output feature class a name and hit run. And to save time, I've already generated the results. If we open up the attribute table of our results, you'll see here that for each middle super output area, we have our population values from the ONS population estimates. And then if we scroll along to the end, you'll see that we have the summarized area of green space in square kilometers. We can then start to visualize this data. And on this occasion, I've decided to use a bivariate map, which allows us to display two variables at once. Here, I've showed total population and the total area of green space per MSOA. Where there is a high total population with a low area of green space, the area is shaded pink. And from this, we can start to see how large parts of London meet this criteria. This shows how you can use layers from the ArcGIS Living Atlas to uncover insights and support your work. So how can you contribute data of your own to the ArcGIS Living Atlas? It's actually a very simple process that simply requires you to first prepare your data and then nominate this. You can prepare your data by ensuring that the item title, description, tags, and thumbnail in ArcGIS Online accurately represent the dataset. Once you've done this, you can go to the Living Atlas website that I showed you previously and navigate to the Contribute tab. Here, you can select the dataset that you wish to submit. Doing this will automatically highlight any parts of the item's metadata that may be lacking in detail, which you can then review. Once you then submit your dataset, it will be reviewed by a member of Esri UK staff to verify that the nominated data is authoritative. Once this has been reviewed, the dataset will either be approved and accepted to the Living Atlas, or changes to the item's metadata may be recommended for the user to make. In summary, the ArcGIS Living Atlas of the World is a curated collection of geographic information from around the globe, and we've seen just some of the ways in which this data can be used across the ArcGIS system to support your work. I would really recommend that you explore the datasets that are available to you. And if you yourself have any data that you would like to share with other members of the GIS community, please do consider nominating your datasets to the ArcGIS Living Atlas.